Good evening. Welcome to Coaching You for You. I am your host tonight. My name is Coach A, also known as Annette. And tonight, I just like to share a little inspiration with you. Inhale it, listen and learn. Tonight is about the people we are watching and why. One of the greatest things I learned over the course of my career is that everybody won't agree with you. And everybody won't agree with some of the things that you do. And that's okay. Part of growing up and adulting is learning to accept that and be who you are and be okay with it. There's things that I don't like. There's people and places that I don't like, but I don't disrespect. And I understand and recognize that everybody has a right to their opinion, whether you agree with it or not. We won't always agree. But one of the greatest things about adulting is growing up and recognizing that none of us are always right. And we can always learn from something from everybody, even if it's how not to be like them. And so tonight, I just want to share a little bit about some of the people I've met along the way and what an inspiration they were to me and for me, and some of the things that I learned from them. And one of the first people I'd like to talk about is my mother, Marlene. My mother taught me that no matter who you are or who you think you are, it's never okay to look down on other people. Never. And one of the things that I learned most in my childhood and growing up was that it was okay to be who I was. I think I told you guys early on at some point that it's my mother and father who made me believe that I could sing. Now, all of my friends disagree with that, as do most of my family members. But it doesn't stop me from singing. I love to sing. And my mother made me believe that I could be anything that I wanted to be. To be respectful of others and never, ever, ever to tread where I did not belong. And she meant a lot of things by that. But she was my greatest source of inspiration. And the reason she was my greatest source of inspiration is because she believed in me. It was real simple. It wasn't complicated. She just simply believed in me. And when you believe in yourself, and that's a dynamite package there. And so my mother was my first source of inspiration. And God knows, as a teenager and a female, and for women who have daughters, they know and will agree that it's not easy raising a daughter. And so if my mother were alive today, I'm almost certain that she would tell you it wasn't easy, but she hung in there with me. And that's what love and commitment is about. And the second person I'd like to talk about is a woman named Nibila male. Nabila has been a source of inspiration to me for years. And the reason we're watching Nabila, look her up, is she's a source of inspiration for others. No matter what she's going through, she's not judgmental. She's not a gossip. She's somebody that you can trust and that you can talk to and always get a real opinion, a real answer. She works in the school system. She works for children, and she does a phenomenal job. She encouraged me to go back to school and get my master's. And we've often talked about getting our PhDs, and at some point, she'll have to tell me where we are with that because I'm a little bored with the idea of a thesis and a challenge position in getting your doctorate. I'm not sure I'm interested in that anymore. I'd like to do a little more traveling. So Nabila is somebody that I admire and respect. And I'll tell you why. At some of the lowest points in my life, and I've had some lows, you know, I'm not always happy. I'm not always sad. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I just value my peace. And not only do I value my peace, but I value peacefulness in others because association can lead to assimilation. And so I value my peace. But Nabila is somebody that at some of the lowest times in my life, she's been there for me and she's encouraged me. When I lost my parents, you know, I lost my father first, and then my mother. And then I lost a niece, and then I lost a brother, and I lost a husband. And so loss has been great. And each time she was there for me, not overbearing, not pushing, just there, kind of like right beside me, letting me know that, I'm here if you need me. And I think that's important. And I think it's important because everybody needs somebody sometime. No man is really an island, although most of us will talk about wanting to be on an island sometimes. And I often think if I could afford one, I would buy one, so that I could have just some me time. I enjoy being with me. And so, uh, speaking of Nabil is a woman who shows real leadership skills. And she is the one who encouraged me during some of the darkest times uh, on my job that no matter what, keep the commitment and pull each other, other people up. And I can tell you that when you're doing those types of things and you're in a position to do them, it's not always easy because your biggest challenges will typically be the people that you help. They become overly sensitive. They become combative. They start to follow the crowd, and they forget who brought them to the party. And that's normal. And one of the things that she helped me understand, because my husband was my greatest ear, and as I shared earlier, he had died. And Nabila was somebody who just helped me understand that no matter what, just do what you do. Be who you are. You and your husband had a pact, and that was to do all you can for as long as you could. And I did that. And today I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy about it because I kept the commitment. I kept the commitment. And if I had to do it all over again, I would keep the commitment. It's important that when we're in a position to help others, that we do that. And sometimes I want you to know you won't always be able to help people exactly the way you think they think you should. But as long as you do the best that you can and you offer all that you have, then you've done everything you're supposed to do. Nabila also taught me that being a mother was not an easy task. And as long as we look at it as a task, that is exactly what it would be. We had to always come at parenthood from a position of love. And so I learned that. And I learned with her and from some of my background that sometimes we're going to love people who don't love us. That's life. That's called life on life's terms. And it happens to everybody. And when it does, the most important thing to remember, as I learned from my parents and from my greatest mentor and best friend, Nabila Ishmael, that I had to first love myself. And in learning to love myself, I knew at the end of the day that no matter what challenge I faced and what I went through, that everything would be all right. And I'm here to tell you today, up until today, I have survived. I have survived. I have thrived. I've lived. I've loved, and I've learned. And that is because I had somebody in my life after my parents and my husband were gone to hear me, not just see me, but hear me. And the other thing I learned is that sometimes people will put you on a unicorn and then not expect you to ride it. The reality is nobody's perfect. I'm not. I'm certainly not. I am perfectly imperfect. That's what I'm perfect at. Perfectly imperfect. But through my friendship and through the mentoring and coaching and guidance of Nabil Ishmael, I learned that life on life's terms it just is what it is. And life doesn't have anything against me or you for that matter. It just simply is what it is. And it's not always what we want it to be. And so tonight I'd like to shout out Nabila Ishmael and thank her for her love and for her energy and effort in helping me be the best person that I could be. And so tonight, Nabila Ishmael, I salute you and I thank you. I thank you for your friendship. And I thank you for, just giving me what I needed when I needed it as a friend. Friends are rare, but when they are sincere and rare, the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that will tear us apart. And I don't have to talk to Nabila every day. I don't have to see her all the time. But one of the things I know, one thing's for certain, and a million things are sure, that when and if I reach out, she's going to give me the best that she's got as a friend to help me be the best that I can be. And so you want people around you who help you grow. You want people around you who know. You want people around you who can help you level up because the whole idea is to level up. It doesn't mean you're better than. It means that you're willing to rise. Listen, fear and self-doubt live in your imagination. Evict it. Evict it. Let it go. For so long I was afraid of so many things. I was so used to having somebody to hold my hand and to guide me and, to help me do what I needed to do. And then that person, my husband, who by the way was no longer here. And I finally, after years of being parented by my parents and, being loved by this man, I had to stand on my own 2 feet. And it was difficult. And I want to tell you guys, for those of you who understand, I actually learned how to work the remote. You know, guys never let you off the remote. I had to learn how to work the remote. Uh, I learned to do a lot of things, for myself. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. Being overly dependent is never a good place to be. And even if we look at it as love, and we look at it as helpful, it is never a good place to be. And so I've learned a lot of things, but nothing's better than having somebody in your life who helps you level up, who helps you grow in everything you go through, whether it's good or bad, that they just help you go through it and grow through it and get to the other side. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than having somebody in your life that, and I have a few. I'm shouting out Nabila Ishmael tonight. There's nothing better than having folks in your life who are willing to challenge things, who are willing to do different things, to travel, to go places, to be involved, to try new things. It's good to have people in your life like that. Sometimes, we stay involved with people, places, and things because, we don't know any better, or, we're afraid and we fear change. And I'm here to tell you that change changes things. It changes things. And it can help you grow. And so, if you want to grow up, and we grow from the cradle to the grave, you want to grow. You have to go where seeds are being planted for growth. I share this all the time. If you want to be a banker, you gotta hang around bankers. If you want to be involved in real estate, you gotta hang around people who deal with real estate and learn from them. And there's nothing that I've learned that I'm not willing to share. Nothing. And so find your best friend. Find somebody who will help you go through it and grow through it. 2019 was an incredibly tough year for me because I was dealing with something that I had no business dealing with. And it was an incredibly tough year. And I am grateful that there were people in my life who did the type of work that I did, who experienced some of the things that I experienced and could help me get to the other side of that. Now, listen, I want to make something abundantly clear that education is a good thing. It's a great thing to have. It really is. There's no substitute for it. But education doesn't make people smart. It doesn't. Common sense with a combination of life on life's terms and education brings the real package to the table. So tonight, my landing statement for you is this: go where the seeds of growth are being planted. Fertile ground. If you're standing in the weeds, that's all you've got coming. Go where there is fertile ground and learn from people. And the last thing I want to leave you with is this: don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. So Nabila Ishmael, keep educating. Keep educating. Keep providing the clinical opportunities that kids in our community need. It is appreciated. Keep mentoring. Keep coaching. Keep growing your business. And you've got some really good business with respect to the help you provide for folks in the community and in and around the state. And I want to thank you for that. Go where the ground is fertile. It's good to have good people in your life. And sometimes we'll have bad. And when you do, ease them out. You don't need it. Peace is priceless. There's no substitute for it. And there's no substitute for having good people in your life that you can watch do some of the things that you want to do. Hang around with people who are doing the things that you want to do. That's one of the reasons you